For a number of years, that was the place where remote viewers got trained for CIA and other military applications. And they gave him the Legion of Merit regarding his ability to sit in his house in Virginia and tell you what's going on inside a Russian facility underground.
For those of you that do not know what the Monroe Institute is, I'm going to totally butcher this, but I will say this. The Central Intelligence Agency and the Monroe Institute have done a multitude of studies together on remote viewing.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into a little bit more about the Monroe Institute?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's the most premier research center for consciousness expansion on the East Coast of the United States, most definitely. It's a place where, like you said, the history behind it was they sent the early remote viewers for the CIA and other military intelligence to that location to be able to utilize technology that assisted them in making better target viewings and also faster recoveries. And so for a number of years, that was the place where remote viewers got trained for CIA and other military applications for the U.S. government. And that was classified for the longest time. You couldn't even talk about it. And still to this day, they'll deny that they use remote viewers. But, the writing's on the wall of, Lou Elizondo has admitted he was connected with remote viewing, and, he's brand new on the scene of, running ATIP and for the Pentagon, the UFO stuff. Like, he was one of those guys. It's like, well, you guys are denying that this existed, yet here's another guy who's in the mix.
Aren't the studies are released, though?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that got released, and they put out a documentary about remote viewing that was called Eye Spies, and that was with Russell Targ, who partnered with Hal Puthoff to put that whole program together for the government, to put some science behind it, because they really needed a good program to be able to say, okay, we're going to do this double blind. We're going to make sure that there's no interference. We want to make sure that the data that we're giving through these remote viewings is accurate, that it's useful. And so he got a lot of stuff declassified so that he could talk about it. And then they turned it into that documentary. And that's how I got tuned into the idea of Joe McMoneagle, who's a teacher at the remote viewing program at Monroe Institute, and who has just a storied existence of successes in remote viewing for the military and special operations forces and National Security Council. And they gave him the Legion of Merit regarding his ability to sit in his house in Virginia and tell you what's going on inside a Russian facility underground somewhere in the tundra of northern Russia.
Man.
And he was right.
This stuff is, this stuff is incredible.
Yeah.
It's the kind of stuff that people, they can't wrap their head around it. And it's all coming out now that everything you thought was bullshit is turning out to be 100% real. And our own government is utilizing this stuff and has been for decades.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do an entirely separate episode on remote viewing in the Monroe Institute. Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.